Hi, I'm Richard Rose, producing artistic director of Barter Theater, and I'm also the director and adapter of Treasure Island here at Barter. The process of adaptation, and understand I've done a lot of adaptations here at Barter, is always different for every book, because it depends on, my goal is usually in adapting a book into a stage play to capture the flavor and the story and the meaning of the book. That's not true for a lot of real playwrights. I don't consider myself a playwright. Being an adapter, I take the word adapter seriously. As opposed to writing a play of Treasure Island, I am writing an adaptation of the book of Treasure Island. And in doing that, I want to capture the themes, I want to capture the meaning, but I also want to capture the story. So I'm not going to add fictional scenes that are not located in the book of Treasure Island. I'm not going to make up scenes that didn't take place. I'm going to try to keep the fights to match kind of what you remember from reading the book of Treasure Island. So from all perspectives for me, it's about keeping true to the intention of the author of the book, and in this case, Robert Louis Stevenson. I think there are a couple things that make Treasure Island kind of universal. First of all, the adventure, the fun. Robert Louis Stevenson made pirates popular in Western culture. I mean, his book really defined what a pirate was and made the kind of the golden age of pirates popular, part of the lexicon of popular culture. As I said in my director's notes, there would be no Pirates of the Caribbean if there were not for Treasure Island. So he certainly did that. There'd be no Peter Pan, and there'd be no Captain Hook, and all of that. So there's certainly that. For me, I think there is a kind of interesting side of the story about human nature that Robert Louis Stevenson is writing about, and that is that man's pursuit of power and wealth really is I don't want to call it a satire, but it's almost a satire by Robert Louis Stevenson. The undercurrent of this book is that Dr. Livesey doesn't need the money. Squire Trelawney doesn't need the money. And frankly, there's a whole bunch of passages that indicate Long John Silver doesn't need the money. In fact, Long John Silver says about himself, "Treasure is my weakness." And all of these guys really risk their lives and the lives of a lot of other people for the obtainance of a treasure that they're not even sure is there. And they put all these other lives at risk. And it's what we do on a nation level. We go into other nations and pull their treasures out, and people get killed, and there's wars, and we fight wars over wealth and power. And we do the same thing in a microcosm in this book. I've been adapting plays for probably 25 years now. Part of it is because, like Treasure Island, there are really some fine plays of Treasure Island, but none of them really capture the book. The same was true when I did Alice in Wonderland. Lots of wonderful plays of Alice in Wonderland, but none of them really capture what the book's about. So for me, adapting became a real desire to capture what the authors were writing about, and in the flavor of the way the authors were writing. And it started from, I'm a director, and directors are largely editors, largely. I mean, I don't care if you're directing film or theater. You're editing, you're making things work from whatever somebody else wrote. So it's not a big stretch to adapt something as a director. It's a bigger stretch to actually be a playwright. And again, I don't consider myself a playwright. Treasure Island, I mean, if you're, the other part of adapting anything is to meet the audience's expectations as well. If I go to Treasure Island, I expect some good cutlass fighting. I mean, pirates are known for their fighting, and that's what you're going to do. I mean, if you're doing Pirates of the Caribbean, you're going to do, you know, big fight sequences. The same thing is true in Treasure Island. And so what you want to do is you want to bring in the best fight choreographer you could possibly bring in. Michael Chin is one of the best in the nation. And for us, that's an important part of Treasure Island, is to make sure that our audience gets the best of everything. And one of those best talents is Michael Chin. if you were a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old and you wanted to write your own story from your favorite book, I would encourage you to just go for it, because it's all you can do. I mean, everybody's not an actor, everybody's not a playwright, everybody's not a director, everybody's not an actor. And we have a tendency to think we all are. And you're not going to discover what you are and how well you do something until you just go do it. And then I would encourage you to get some assistance in doing that. Get the advice, get people to guide you, get people to help you, so that, because dreams are never realized alone. I had mentors in my life, everybody else has had mentors in their lives. And so the goal is go after what you want to do, pursue those things you have a passion about, go do it, and then find mentors that will help you succeed.